Okay, now is where I get to talk about me. And these photos are more or less bookends of my career. And I was 29 on the left, and I'm just a little older on the right. So I was an investigative reporter for many years. And I say, modestly, that I did win a lot of awards in that time. And I had a very good reputation for integrity. I would unravel a very complicated story, figure it out, and come to conclusions, because that's what an investigative reporter does, comes to conclusions about certain situations. I wrote solid stories. I was objective. The other thing is that I did not have chronic Lyme. I had no pony in this race, I guess is the expression. I was the ultimate outsider to come in and take a look at Lyme disease. And it took me a really long time. I had been at this for more than 30 years before I finally got around to looking at Lyme disease. I wrote about, prisons, and I wrote about education, and I wrote about municipal corruption, got one or two people fired or arrested. But what I looked for in stories was corruption and government waste of dollars and wrongdoing and malfeasance and the things that get the investigative reporter's blood boiling. I didn't expect to find this in Lyme disease. I thought, okay, it's a story about a growing illness. Are we spending enough money to help prevent it? Something along those lines. But okay. This is one of my first stories, and it centers on antibiotics. This isn't what I thought I would find out or where I'd go. So here we are in the Mid-Hudson Valley of New York State, and I worked for a small daily newspaper called the Poughkeepsie Journal, which I thank for supporting my research, high-level investigative research for years. And we're in an area of the world that has among the highest Lyme rates in the world. But what are the powers that be concerned about? Are they concerned that ticks are running rampant and I can't even walk in the grass behind my home because I'll get covered in them? Are they concerned about patients? No. They're focused on antibiotics and on doctors. The doctors, by the way, who are trying to treat people who are sick. What I found out when I wrote that story was that 5 local doctors were under investigation by the state licensing board. Why? Because of how they were treating Lyme disease. It's estimated that about 50 doctors nationwide, and this is a very soft figure, have gotten that letter from their licensing board, which is a terrifying experience for a doctor. That says, we've gotten a complaint, or we have reason to think, or whatever. You're under investigation because of how you are managing Lyme disease. We want you to open up your books in investigations that can take years and cost hundreds of thousands. This is why many people with advanced Lyme disease cannot find treatment. So from there, I start peeling away the layers of the Lyme disease story. And this is what patients tell me. I've been to a dozen doctors. I think my record was about 30. I've been diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, depression, anxiety. I was told I didn't have anything wrong with me. Go home. And these people were just so in need to tell their story. Here's all my medical records. Read them all. See what I've gone through. And their common theme was, I'm still sick. I can't get help. I've spent a lot of money, and I'm angry. So this is another story I wrote early on about how we have very high levels of Lyme disease. So I'm at a small paper, as I said, but all of a sudden, I'm finding I have a big reach. I'm getting emails from dozens of states. This is the beauty of the internet, by the way. I started investigative reporting before things went online. I'm getting emails from Europe. One of my stories is posted in Australia where it gets 5,000 hits. And my stories are driving up web clicks at the Poughkeepsie Journal. And editors like nothing more than that. I had a great editor. He cared about the issue, but he saw that and he said, yeah, keep going. So along the way, I get a trove of emails. And these are emails from the US Centers for Disease Control that another researcher by the name of Chris Newby, terrific researcher, just wrote a book called Bitten, obtained after a 5-year fight. They didn't want to give this up. But this is one, it seems like a sort of innocuous email, but it's from someone in the National Institutes of Health telling someone in the CDC, he's retiring, he's going to miss the scientists, but he's not going to miss the Lyme loonies. Lyme loonies. So, okay, I want to find out, are these people really crazy? Or is the government wrong?